Hi B Matters, so the day has arrived. I'm at Ocean BMW in Plymouth and look what I've got. Dave, look at that.
Kelvin, yeah, it's a fantastic bike. We are super excited about having this bike in the range. Obviously, RT has been a mainstay of the BMW brand for so long, and having the latest revision of it is just fantastic for us. So, yeah, amazing bike.
It is, and I got to say, the photos. When you look at a photograph on YouTube or anything, you've got to come in here and have a look at it because it is absolutely stunning. The detailing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the detail, the finish, the quality of the finish. But the shape of it, I mean, I don't know why it doesn't, to me, it doesn't come over on the photographs. Why is that? It's really quite odd.
Part of the design sort of language of the bike was to actually visually make the bike look lighter and smaller, and they've done a really good job of that, because if you put them side by side to a 1250, this bike physically looks a little bit smaller.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, essentially it's the same weight as the previous engine bike.
Is it?
More power than the previous engine bike. Obviously,
Yeah.
we're up to 145 horsepower now on this bike, so it's gone up a bit in power. And obviously with the new engine that we have that was launched with the 1300 GS.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, a great engine, loads of power.
Oh, the 1200 is good. I mean, I love my 1200.
Yeah.
So I did do a review on the, why buy a 1250 when the 1200 is a great bike.
Yeah.
But this is a lot different. Everything on this bike it's been changed, hasn't it?
It's
compared.
Completely new bike, from engines upwards. Even the position of the gearbox is different on this bike, because the gearbox now sits as a cassette in the bottom of the engine, which helps to push the weight distribution further down. So again, weight distribution and handling is really important for this side of the bike. Yes, we want a bike that's really good, does loads of miles very easily for the customer.
Yeah.
But some cute things like the dynamic suspension adjustment on the bike now. When you ride the bike in the dynamic mode, it actually adjusts the attitude of the bike, so the back sits slightly higher than the front, which means the bike's going to turn in quick on those. So if you're up the mountains, kind of turning those twisty mountain roads, you're going to get a more active feel.
Pushes weight on the front, I suppose.
Correct. It effectively changes the front caster angle, therefore making the bike easier to turn in through those twisty corners. But riding it back in the road mode, you're going to sit in a more stable position and still get that real sort of RT, long touring, mileage munching kind of bike that you
well, they are. I mean, I got to be honest, but looking at this, comparing just the looks alone, this is leaps and bounds. I mean, it makes my old 1200. Do you know what? It's a 17 plate, so it's only 8 years ago.
Yeah.
But this is so different. Yeah, you need to get in here. All right, get in here. Come and have a chat with Dave and Martin and all the guys in here. Right, have a sit on it, but have a good look at it, because it is so different, and it's complete, isn't it?
It's a real package, and I think they've thought about a lot of things really well with the bike.
Yeah.
Seat height's really important for a bike like this. We're down to 780 millimeters for the low seat on the bike in its low position.
So it fit from 5'8" or 5'6", really.
Yeah.
30 or 29 inch inside leg, which is mine, because I fit on it. Yeah, up to somebody that's 7 foot, I suppose.
You can take the seat up with the highest seat in the up position, take it up another 8 centimeters.
Right.
So there's a big
8 cent, really?
Yeah, 8 centimeters seat range from the low to the highest position. So,
2.5 inches. Is that right? Is it? I don't know.
I can't do imperial anymore.
Well, it's 25 millimeters in an inch.
Yeah.
So 8 centimeters. Oh, anyway.
More on that. Yeah.
8 centimeters.
But so they thought about seat height a lot, which is really important. When if you're loaded up with luggage and a passenger on the back and everything, you want to have your feet securely on the floor. Yeah. But you want the seat to be in the right position for your riding, so you've got that right rider triangle for when you sat on the bike.
It looks absolutely stunning, mate.
Yeah.
I tell you, even the bags. I mean, look at this with the black. I mean, how many times you cock your leg over and scraped here? Yeah. Well, again, I've got scuff marks on my pannier.
And I think if you look at the panniers from the front 3/4 there, you'll see how much, in their standard position, how much slimmer they are.
They are.
Yeah,
look at that. Yeah.
If you haven't got the bike fully loaded up for the big trip you're going on, then you can have the panniers in the narrow position. Yeah. Basically, we can unlock the panniers here. We can take the panniers open here. Yeah. And you can wind them out. They are the Vario panniers, so you can take the pannier positions right out to the far.
So you fit your helmet?
You can fit a helmet in there, and if the really important thing as well from the positioning point of view, They don't interfere with the exhaust there, so both the left and right hand side panniers are the same size now.
Same size,
So
same
if you look
depth.
at, if you look from the back now, you see
yeah.
the difference between the pannier wound in and the pannier wound out.
Yeah.
It's a massive difference of space on there.
And I tell you what, that exhaust pipe looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a really
nice.
pipe. And you see the dark chrome finish on it as well.
Yeah.
So you've got the dark chrome on here and on the headers as well.
The finish is beautiful. Now, obviously, with a bike with all the technology and the build quality of a BMW, starting price, and what do you get for that?
Well, it depends on which spec you go for, because we have got bikes from sort of around about the £19,000 up to sort of 26,000, depending on what you really want to go for.
Yeah.
So if you look at the Racing Blue model that we've got here, you get quite a lot of specification within that sort of package price that comes with it. Right. Items that are completely new to us, like the Active Aero on the bike. So there are some wind tunnel videos about that really show this works. So if you imagine yourself riding along a hot climber, you want some airflow on your body, you can leave the Active Aero in.
And you do?
You do.
You're in Spain?
Yeah, you're in Spain. You've done that big trip across the rainy northern France right down through into Spain, and you're hot. Yeah. But when you are in those night time, you're getting cold, you can change the aero position here, pop this up, and that takes the airflow away from your lower body and up on, and takes the wind away from the top of your body. Yeah. So then you're warmer when you're going along there.
It's very clever.
Very comfortable, really.
And I've got to say, I'm pleased that's not electronic.
You can just adjust it to your comfort style. It's really easy to use. Nice and simple to use on there.
What a great idea.
You've obviously got, from a comfort point of view, you've got the electric screen on the bike.
Well, that's a must.
There's some different screen heights available as well to suit you as a rider. So that, you know, if you want to get on that, you know, a taller person, you need a taller screen. You can get that position just right for you.
Well, it's great. It's fantastic. You know, I've got that on my 012. And I use it all the time, to be honest.
From a rear seat person's point of view, you know, it's really important for us that
look at the size
passenger's comfortable as well on the bike.
And that's squishy.
Rear comfort seat, lovely, nice and comfortable. In addition to that, we've now got available a passenger comfort package as well. Right. That will bring in a top box, which gives you a heated backrest. You've also, first time ever, we got heating available in the rear bars here, so
the grip.
So you've got a switch under here, so the passenger can control the heating element for here, for the seat, the grab handles, and the backrest on the bike.
Stop it!
Yeah, so you're going to be nice and comfy on the back of the bike.
You got to treat your girl right, haven't you? And that's
it's really important that, you know, if you're doing a big hike across Europe,
Norway,
yeah, lovely and warm.
Nice warm bum.
Yeah,
and back and fingers as well. So no, it's great, mate. It depends really. You can, so starting price for, just say the basic. Well, it's not basic. It's not even basic when it is basic.
We don't have basic bikes.
We don't. BMW don't do basic, do they?
Because they've got lots of, sort of around about £19,000 mark upwards.
Yeah,
it depends what you want to spec on the bike. You know, if you want to go. Yeah. You know, full radar cruise on the bike. You can take that as an option. If you want to take a comfort package back for the passenger on the back, you do or don't have to take
so
that.
You buy what you want to buy. So you're not buying a bike for 25 grand and the stuff on it you don't really want. So you can buy the bike that you want.
Yeah, and I was debating with Saturday with a customer about the automatic shift assistant gearbox. So BMW's effectively auto-styled gearbox that you have on the bike. Which is really easy to use. I think it's going to work really well with the RT personally. I've ridden it a lot on a GS. Right. I did 1,000 miles last weekend on a GS with it, and it's brilliant. I love it. I've got
to be honest. I am sceptical purely because I've never ridden one. I was just speaking to a gentleman in there that's got, in fact, a GS, which I'm looking at now, and he's got the automatic
gearbox,
and he swears by it. He thinks it's brilliant, and he's old school. I'm sure. I hope you don't mind me saying that, but
no,
he's old school like me, you know. And I've got to get my head around that, and I'll do that when I take it for a ride when I get back off holiday.
Yeah, come and take the bike we've got with an ASA transmission. We've got a demo registered, ready to go, so you can take that bike out.
Mate,
you know, once you get used to the ASA gearbox, you know, it's so natural.
Well, that's what he said.
So natural.
He said it's brilliant. The word brilliant is what he used. So Can you get a better word than brilliant? No, you can't. So, mate. So, right, what else do we need? Look at that.
Ergonomics-wise on the bike, you've still got the the big 10.25-inch screen on there.
That's fabulous.
You can use from the BMW Motorrad app. You can project your map from your phone directly
so
on
you got
here
your
for your
phone,
navigation. Yeah, I've got my phone in here.
Yeah.
I've only got an iPhone 12, but you can fit an iPhone 15, 16 Max in there. So it's a much bigger storage compartment in there.
So you download the BMW navigation app, yeah?
Yeah, Motorrad app.
Yeah, so you can't. Could you use Google or something? Can you use it or Waze?
Project on there.
You can't.
No,
okay.
It's from the Motorrad app itself, but you can put all your navigation points within there, waypoints, everything, and send it straight through to the dashboard there. You can have that on full screen or small split screen, depending on what you're looking for as well.
Does that cost, or is that included?
No, the app's free.
Right, that's cool.
Yeah, the app's free,
Well,
and you can record your journeys as well on there. So if you're going on a trip and you want to know how many miles you've done a day, all that kind of stuff, it's all recorded within the app. To look at your riding style and how you've been enjoying your day.
How gorgeous is that? I mean, it looks stunning, doesn't it? It's probably, I would say, that's the best screen on the market. Look at that. There's no glare.
No glare effect. No.
There isn't, is there? There's absolutely no glare, and it's really readable.
Yeah, really good. You've got really convenient features on the bike. From a simplistic point of view, on the right-hand side here, we've got our riding modes, so you can switch the riding modes over depending on how you want to ride the bike.
Well, that's similar, isn't it?
Really
Again, to the help move thing. Hey, I'm looking at that. Look, that's identical on the 1200.
Exactly.
So that's good. So you can.
However, on the 1200 and 1250, you didn't have the option of initially, well, on your bike, the radar cruise, which is now you can take as an option on the bike. Standard cruise comes with the bike, but radar is the option. And also with the radar cruise, you get the blind spot detection here as well. So if someone's coming up on your insides,
well, how many times have you quickly looked around? Well, you got your glass, right? So you got your glasses on, right? And there's a blind spot here because you look around and what do you see? Just the rim of the glass. So to have little triangle, is it? That's correct. Yeah. Little orange triangle come up there. Yeah. Oh, there. Oh, there. Yeah, I can see it. That come up. It's just reassuring because, you can't have too many.
It's a great safety feature.
Features, yeah.
The kind of person buying this bike is probably an experienced rider, done lots of miles on the bike, but an additional piece of safety help for you.
The roads there's more traffic on the roads. There's, you got to keep your wits about you. So any rider aid is going to be a plus. Yeah. But don't forget. You still got to have your input and ride sensibly. I've got to say that, haven't I? Of course I have.
Completely,
But right, so this particular bike, how much is this one?
This one's 24,600, I believe.
Yep. Okay, and that comes with the top box, yeah?
This one's without the top box. This bike has got the radar cruise on it. It's got it's the Racing Blue metallic package. Beautiful. So on the bike as well. So it's a nice bike. This one's got audio on this bike as well. So you've got speakers inbuilt into here. You can control the volume of the audio directly from here. Stop it. Bit of country music for you, sir.
Go on then.
So,
do you want to dance?
Okay, thanks.
No thanks.
Yeah, and
I've been turned down. What's going on?
And from a convenience point of view, the switches for your shortcut buttons have now moved from further down on here up further, so a little bit more convenient. You can still pre-program them for whatever you really want to display on the dashboard. And
so the radio, again, you don't have to have the radio, but how much is that then?
The hi-fi system, I believe, is £1,250 option. I'll have to check on that for you.
Yeah, okay. But you don't have to have that, do you? If you don't want it. So again, you buy what you want. You get the bike. The bike is absolutely stunning, right? But you buy what you want, not what you say. You don't have to buy what you don't want.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, it's absolutely gorgeous. So this is the radar. Yeah.
Yep. So the front. You got the front sensor in here, and the rear runs by the rear light. So this one's always looking forward. It's looking at the vehicles in front of you. They don't have to be cars; it can be motorcycles as well. I used radar cruise on a GS last weekend for 1,000 miles, and I was riding along in a group of other 11 other bikes with the cruise on all the time. And it was just keeping my speed. That with the ASA gearbox makes it really relaxing.
Well, because what worries me when I'm going down the motorway, you tend to switch off a little bit. You do, don't you? You can't help it. You sort of with the roads going past like this, you're sort of slightly hypnotised. But I do worry because, especially on motorways, all of a sudden you're doing sort of 70, and all of a sudden the cars are stopped, the lorries are stopped, and And if you're not,
and that's why the frontal collision warning on the bike really helps you, because
big time.
You know, you're going along, you're going to get a big red light flash up on the dashboard, an audible sound on there to tell you that something has slowed down quickly in front of you. You can change the distance, you preset that as well.
Can you? Okay,
so if you want it to be more active or less active, you can set that within the settings on the bike. So it allows you to customize that. So the radar at the front looks after your front vision, the radar at the back looks after the blind spot and rear collision as well.
Look at that, it just went down by itself.
So the bike's powered down. It's keyless, obviously, as you expect.
Keyless,
so keyless, keys in my pocket. We haven't touched the bike for a little while, so it's powered itself down. The electric train motors itself down, so it's nice and safe and out of the way.
It is absolutely. Do you know what? In fact, we discussed this.
Yeah.
The RT, in its class, there's nothing to compete with it in my book. And I can't think of another bike.
I think I've been watching lots of reviews on the bike the last few days, people at the international launch, and a similar comment has come up a few times actually, because they're saying, you know, it's not a big heavy Honda Goldwing style bike, it's not even a K1600. It's got the character of a boxer engine about it. It is a very nimble bike to ride still. So you've got a great bike, it's dynamic, it rides really well. As I was saying a minute ago when we were joking, technicians just test ridden this, so we PDI all our bikes, ready for him to go in the showroom, and he's come back and said, I love that, it feels really dynamic.
And he's a youngster. He's not my age.
So not my age.
You're a lot younger than me.
Thank you.
But no, honestly, I think, and what a success story. I mean, I always remember back in, was it the 70s, I suppose, there was a dealer, BMW dealer in Exeter. It is now a pet shop, I think.
All right.
Yeah, but they had two. They had the RS and the RT.
Yeah.
One was gold, and I think one was red. The RT, I think, was red. And look how far it's gone. First of all, look at the dealerships. It wasn't just a two-bike sort of outlet, you know.
No, you've had a look around now, and we've got a vast range of bikes, you know, and we've got more coming as well. We've been really lucky this year. We've always had multiple bikes launched this year. Upgraded a load of our model range in the last 12 months. So, you know,
it's phenomenal.
Over 65% of the bikes we've got this year to sell are new models. So it's a huge opportunity for us to sell, you know, great bikes like the RT and the GS.
It is a great bike. I mean, Yamaha have tried. Kawasaki have tried, right? The GTR, haven't they? They tried. It wasn't a flop. It wasn't a success either. They no longer make them, do they? The FJR and Yamaha, you know, the 1300. It just didn't happen for them, did it? You know, and everything on it is absolutely right. God, else, when I first saw it, sorry, Dave, but I tell you, when I first saw it, I thought, oh my, right, crikey, Yeah, because it's a big risk when they start changing things. It's a bit like the GS13, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Totally different. And the same with this RT. Is they've taken a real gamble, because they had such a success story with the 1250, the 1200, you know, all the way back through, and everything being a success. So a real big gamble, but it's not a gamble, because look at it, it's absolutely stunning.
It's brilliant, and you know, you've taken, like you said, a success of the 1250 RT, 1200 RT, and all the predecessors before that, all these bikes that, you know, all the police forces around the world have used for many years. And there's a reason for that, because they're great bikes, you know, and they've used those, and we've gone to the 1300 model now with all its development in the engine, the drivetrain, you know, the electronics, everything on the bike. It's all just been lifted to meet today's requirements, and they've taken that opportunity to change the styling at that same point in time as well, to really update it. And
but they know what they're doing. That's what, you know. To be fair, you know, BMW are getting it right. You know,
we're having a good year again. You know, we've had a good strong start to
you said again. There you go.
There you go. You know, you know, we all know the motorcycle industry was really, really challenging the last couple of years, particularly last year. You know, we're riding that storm with some fantastic products, and that's
it's making your life easy, isn't it? Bikes like this,
helps.
I mean, you know, just get your pen ready.
I wish it was that easy, but
saying that, different ways of buying a bike. Okay, obviously coming In fact, you probably don't want cash, do you? Because you've got to bank it, haven't you? Well, but bankers draft and things like that.
The days of just people coming in with pound notes has changed a little bit because of money laundering laws, obviously. So
oh,
we
right,
have to be
yes.
a little bit restrictive of what cash we can take.
Wow, that's a good point.
However, you know, there's options people have now for buying motorbikes. They don't have to pay their own funds straight away. We can look at finance options for customers. Clearly, some people qualify, some don't. So we always go through that qualification process to look at what's right for the customer and try and give them all the information they need to make the right decision.
Make the right decision.
Yeah.
But PCP is, you were saying that 50% of people buy on PCP. So what you can do is put a small deposit down, I don't know how much, but whatever, PCP it, and then you can get out, start travelling the world and enjoying life now, because let's be honest, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow even. So
correct, there's there's
come
different
in
ways.
and,
I mean, if you take a personal contract purchase, a PCP is an option that we do offer through BMW Financial Services. You can put a very small deposit down, and really it's about affordability. So we work with the customers to try and give them some options so that their monthly payment works for them. That's the important thing for us. And then whether it's over a 3-year or 4-year period, then they've got the right monthly payment. They can pay a little bit more off if they want to change that monthly payment during the term of that to adapt that.
And they can buy it after a period of 3-4 years, or what is it? 4? Did you go?
You can go 3 or 4 years on a piece.
Right. So if you decide to have it 4 years, but you want to keep the bike, then you can pay it off. But also, if you don't want to, if you want to part exchange it for another bike, you can do that as well. Okay. So, do you know what? That's in fact the Americans. That's all they ever do, isn't it? To be fair,
a lot of other countries they believe in effectively renting things. If you look at the car market, the amount of contracts sold on new cars is huge. Motorcycle industry's, I think, been catching up for a little while. All the time the sales of our new bikes is increasing more and more on that sort of personal contract purchase kind of way. Or there's still the old hire purchase schemes that are available, so you can still effectively pay the whole balance of the bike off. But the PCP gives you another option.
That's if you want to keep it, of course. So, but the nice thing about the PCP is you have more options to you, don't you?
Very much.
It's good. No, it's great. I there's loads more we can talk about, because this bike, I promise you now, the more you look, the more you see. Okay, but this vlog is going to go on for about another hour and a half, so I think we're going to cut it there. I think we'll cut it there. Dave, thanks ever so much, mate. Honestly, thank you ever so much. Thanks for your support.
No problem at all.
And we'll get this one out as soon as we can. This vlog out as soon as we can.
Get yourself back for a ride. That's what we want you out on the bike,
mate. Well, I'm going to try it, and you know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. I sort of want one now. I really do, and I think we'll talk about this PCP thing.
Yeah. Please do come and see us. We've got a business manager here who's an expert at finance, so he can talk to you about all the options available. I like experts. Right, so thanks for watching, guys. All right, until next time. Well, the next review I'm taking one out, aren't I, Dave? I am, mate. Okay, listen, thanks, Dave, and thanks to Ocean BMW. All right, so brilliant.